Now, the Democrat-led panel approved a contempt citation against Barr in a 24-16 vote along party lines just a short time ago. I want to bring in Arizona Congresswoman Debbie Lesko, who sits on the House Judiciary Committee. Congresswoman, thanks for taking the time to stop by.
Thank you for having me.
All right, now, before that vote today, the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Jerry Nadler, of course, it's the committee that you sit on. He said that we are in a constitutional crisis. He has said it since the vote just moments ago. You are fresh off of this vote that just took place. What do you think all of this is?
I think it's all political theater. I mean, for 2 years now, the Democrats have been saying, oh, there's some kind of collusion between the Trump administration and President Trump and Russia, and that's the only reason that he won the election. Well, that turned out to be untrue. If you read the Mueller report, they said there's no collusion. So now they have to, keep up the drumbeat of going against President Trump. And so in the Judiciary Committee for, weeks now, we've been doing all kinds of motions, and the chairman has been cutting off debate. Last week, he wouldn't even hear motions of Republicans. I mean, it's really pretty sad because the American people want us to work together to get major things done, like securing our border and improving health care and education. Instead, what we're doing is doing this political theatrics. I mean, last week we had a Democratic congressman eating fried chicken in the Judiciary Committee and then posing in front of a whole bunch of cameras with a ceramic chicken. I mean, this is something maybe my 9-year-old grandson might do and think is funny. So, I don't know what they're thinking, but I really think this is going to backfire on the Democrats. People want us to get things done, not all these shows.
Right. Well, Chairman Nadler says that this will be a civil contempt citation, not a criminal contempt citation. Does that make any difference to you?
No, I think no matter what they're doing, this is all about the 2020 presidential election. And I'm on 3 committees, and in every single committee, there's a concerted effort to undermine the president of the United States. And so, I mean, Attorney General Barr did not have to put out to the public the Mueller report, but he did. And then he very limited redaction. And now Nadler and the Democrats just voted, and they put a subpoena out that would actually require Attorney General Barr to break the law, because you can't give grand jury information to Congress or anyone else unless the judge says you can. And so this is just ridiculous. And
right.
Then, he offered to Nadler that he could come into the DOJ and see less redacted report, and Nadler refused. I mean, this is just a display of political theatrics. It's nothing more than trying to undermine our president of the United States, and it really needs to stop.
Well, I'd be interested to know, Congresswoman, is Nadler meeting with Republican members of the committee on all of this? I mean, what's the communication process like among lawmakers to avoid these types of actions, or is there any communication?
Well, there's been no communication with me, and I don't think there's been any communication with the Republicans on the committee at all. In fact, last week there was a sad display by the chairman not even recognizing the Republican members for motions, and you had Congressman Sensenbrenner, who used to be the chairman of Judiciary Committee, doing a motion, and Chairman Nadler didn't even want to recognize him. I mean, this is just, in my opinion, abuse of power. And, I think the American people are going to see through this.
Right. One last question. I want you to think about your schedule on Capitol Hill and some of your conversations with other lawmakers there on the Hill. What legislative measures have you personally had to focus on less to take part in these committee hearings that are so focused on the Mueller report? What can you think of?
Well, I'm on the Homeland Security Committee, which is very important. We're dealing with not only border security, but our national security, and it happens at the same time as Judiciary Committee hearings. So we have been having probably 2 meetings every week in Judiciary, and so it's taken me away from the important duties of securing our nation on the Homeland Security Committee, and that's really unfortunate. But also, I am planning on introducing legislation on immigration immigration reform, specifically asylum immigration reform. As the president says, that is broken, and it's actually incentivizing thousands and thousands of people to come into the United States. It needs to be fixed. I'm hoping that my Democrat colleagues will at least look at that legislation and agree with me, and we can pass it out of the House, and then I assume it would be passed by the Senate and signed by the president. We'll see. So far, they've been very partisan. They don't want to do anything that they think would benefit the president, and they've been very combative about it. So it's really a sad state of affairs.
All right, Congresswoman Debbie Lesko of Arizona, as always, we appreciate your time.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.